What's going on, guys? It's Jordan back today with today's second video. I had to make a second video today, guys, because I'm seeing a crazy development for TEZOS. You guys know a coin that I've talked about in the past multiple times, and I do think has a super bullish long-term outlook. So we're going to take a look at it today. So if you guys enjoy the video, make sure you guys leave a like. Let's try to hit 400 likes on today's video. But as you can see right now, guys, we were talking about this ascending triangle pattern on stream for TEZOS that has now actually broken to the upside here, right? And our measure move target out of this ascending triangle pattern is right to the top of our bigger pattern that we're going to talk about in just a second. But this is super bullish. This is super bullish. This was an area that we wanted to break, right? Because we look left. There's obviously our local high here from back in August 13th of 2020. So that was a big level for us to get over, and now we have broken that to the upside. But I wanted to focus more on the long term for TEZOS today. I'm going to switch to this weekly chart, which I know we talked about multiple times in the past for TEZOS as well. But we're in a giant rising wedge pattern, right? Which is typically a bearish pattern, but we're in a bull market, so you guys usually know that these rising wedges actually break up to the upside more than to the downside on a lot of these coins, right? But so if we look here, guys, we have gotten back above our 20-week moving average, which for most coins tends to be our bull market support, right? We tend to not break that 20-week moving average, but for whatever reason with TEZOS, it's kind of slightly lagging behind the market, but I do not expect that to continue personally, obviously, but we're going to take a look at this from an objective view from the most bearish and the bullish side. We are back over that 20-week moving average. As you can see, it's usually our barometer where if we're below it, we're pretty bearish in the short term, right? If we're above it, usually pretty bullish in the short term. It's throughout history, right? So now we're back above it. We've retested it a couple times as support now. So we've now confirmed our, overall bullishness of the market in the short term. We're going up to right now retest the top of this rising wedge, and also a big resistance from back here from 2018, right? From May of 2018 and back here from actually January of 2018. So this is a big area for us to break at about $5.65. It might give us a slight resistance in the short term. Overall, this local high area right here, our candle body, that's where we're right at right now. It's about $4.91. Where we might get some resistance at that local high right here, but I don't expect us to get too much resistance at that level. Because like I said, we did break out of a super bullish ascending triangle pattern in the short term. And you can see, guys, also on the weekly chart, we do have this cup and handle pattern that is also forming as well, which should push us up over that, rising wedge, and also above this resistance line at about 565. That should keep us down. So that's really the weekly chart on the USD, right? I mean, we're not going to look at too much of our breakout patterns, but if we looked at if we did break out from this possible cup and handle pattern, which I do like because you usually want to see that cup and handle pattern be kind of upsloping rather than downsloping. So we looked at our measured move. It's going to put us right at about $8.91 if we did break that to the upside. So obviously we'll wait to see if that happens. Now, what would be bearish if we did come up here, guys, and retest our resistance here, both at that 565 area where we had previous resistance looking left, and also our top of our rising wedge, and come back down and break that 20-week moving average in the short term. That would be pretty bearish. But look for us to probably come back up here, retest this, come back down, come back down, retest the 20-week moving average as support, and then continue on up higher. That's what I expect to happen in the short term, but also watch for the possible break of the 20-week moving average, which will probably be in a retest of the bottom of the wedge at some point, guys. All right, and gals. So if we switch on over to the 20, this is the daily chart of Ethereum, and I noticed that the daily chart of Ethereum from back in 2015 looks very similar to this TEZOS chart, right? Obviously, completely different time frames. We're on the weekly chart for TEZOS. We're on the daily chart for Ethereum. But you can see generally the same type of thing where we topped out, right, and then we dumped in the bear market, right? We topped out, we dumped, and then we consolidated for a super long time, right? For Ethereum, we consolidated for almost half of a year here before moving on up, obviously, in the 2016 bull market. And it was really once we broke that second local high is when we really started getting super parabolic for Ethereum. You can see on Ethereum also, we tended to kept breaking that 20-day moving average constantly. And once we found it as support a couple times, broke that local high from back here, that's when we got super parabolic. And I'm seeing the same type of thing for TEZOS here. How we just keep flirting with that 20-week moving average. I want to see us continue to hold that as support and really break this $565 mark to really continue on up higher in the longer term time frames. Okay, so that's really that. I just see a lot of similarities for Ethereum with TEZOS, obviously in this move, right? We know Ethereum absolutely blasted off once we got in that. Now, do I expect something similar to happen for TEZOS? It's certainly possible. Ethereum, after we broke that, went up to another 857%. If TEZOS was due to a similar thing, we can look at it. I mean, I don't know if that's 100% accurate. That would put a $50 TEZOS, which would put TEZOS market cap at around $50, about 10x. So it would put about a $30 billion market cap for TEZOS, which would put it right at above XRP, which I think is actually somewhat realistic if you think that, obviously take into account all the other higher cap altcoins going up in value as well. While TEZOS does that, I think a $50 TEZOS is possible in this bull market. Now I do think 100% going to happen. Not 100%. No one knows exactly what's going to happen 100%. But like I said, we're taking this from an objective view and not just from a forefront of just being a super bullish moon boy, right? So last thing I want to look at, the TEZOS Bitcoin chart on the daily. It looks so familiar to every single time it gets a big run up on Bitcoin. You can see right here, guys, if I get my brush tool, every single time we hit this trend line, once here, once here, once here, we tend to get a super big pump against Bitcoin. Okay, you can see what we usually do is we create two higher lows and then go on up to pump, right? Same thing here, two higher lows and then we pump. And I think we're doing the same thing right now, right? We get basically two higher lows and then we're pumping big onto the upside. If you guys can see the Discord, you guys can't see it, my face is bothering it, but Discord's going off in the bottom right here. But yeah, I mean, what I'm expecting is probably something similar to this if the history is to repeat. Now, we know in the cryptoverse, right? We know in here that history does not always repeat. So obviously take this with a grain of salt. But I thought this was a very interesting pattern that has continued to play out here for TEZOS. Every time it seems to bottom out on this general trend line perfectly and then make two higher lows and then pump up to a higher valuation. Now, if we were to do a similar thing where we've done the last couple times, you see this one went up to generally the same area. This one from its bottom touch went up about 153% against Bitcoin. And this one went up about 188%. So let's say it went up 150% from its bottom touch point. It's going to put it right about generally in about this area, which would say it would go about 150% against Bitcoin. That would put TEZOS at approximately TEZOS market target price as we speak right now, obviously about $5. Probably put TEZOS at about a little over a $10 TEZOS, which I think is definitely possible in the shorter term time frames here over the next course of the next couple weeks to months. All right, so that's really TEZOS Bitcoin. We're going to continue to look at this constantly because I do think TEZOS has a lot of bullish fundamentals and a lot of bullish technicals, especially. You guys know I'm more of a fundamental analysis, technical analysis type guy. That should scream that it should gain on Bitcoin, at least in the short term. All right, so that's the video for today. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys did, don't forget to leave a subscribe and hit that alert box button right next to the subscribe button so you guys get updates when I go live. Don't forget to leave a like before you guys go, as always. And don't forget, I'm going live on the live stream tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. So I'll see you guys in the live stream later tonight. Thanks for watching. Peace out.